Thank you for coming to our citizen information session today. My name is Desiree Patrick, and I'm the Community Relations Director here at Harnett County. And just to make you aware, this is our summer citizen information session. We will have these on a quarterly basis. So the next one we will have will be in the fall, and I will publicize that when we come up with a date. So the purpose of our citizen information session is to keep you, our citizens, informed with things that we are doing. So each session we will have different departments to come and present, and that's also an opportunity for you all to ask questions. So just to make you aware, I started in this role in March, so I'm very new. I still consider myself new. We are 3 months in. But some ground rules, please be respectful. If you do have a cellular device, if you can silence it or put it on vibrate. When we do get to questions at the end, please one person speak at a time, and then questions will be asked at the end as time permits. And as I stated with your cards, if we are going through with the presentations and you have a question about something, just write it down so you don't forget it, because sometimes I forget. So tonight's agenda will start with me as an introduction. We will move on to our county manager, Brent Trout. Then we will go on to Lynn Lambert, who is our natural resources director, and she will give us an update on soil and water conservation district. Morgan Pope will be after Lynn, and she is our admin support specialist, and she will give us an update on Keep Harnett Beautiful. And we have Angela McLawley, and she is our library director, and she will give us updates and let us know more about the services that our library provides. So, as I stated, my role here is Community Relations Director, and my office is the Public Information Office. So, that is an office under the County Manager's office, and my role is to provide marketing, branding, communications, community relations for the county. So, one large aspect of that role is to keep our citizens informed. Now, how do I do that? Number one, and these are just a few, but number one is our Harnett Happenings newsletter. If you're not familiar with that, that is a monthly newsletter that I send out the first Monday of each month. So it's an electronic newsletter, so we'll go to your email address. I did put some flyers out. If you have a smartphone, you can also scan the flyer, and it will send you so you can register, so you can receive them. I also handle our website as a whole, but our departments, they also manage their own web pages. So on our website, you'll see things like announcements, if I'm publishing a news release, or even right now I have a banner, or we'll call it an alert, at the top of the page that lets you know things. So right now it is an alert to let you know we're closed on July 4th for Independence Day. I have put alerts on the website to let people know there's a water main break or such. I also do our county routes newsletter. And if you receive your water through the Harnett Regional Water, then you may have received it if you get your bill in the mail. If you get your bill electronically, you will not receive this. So this is another way to reach our citizens who may not want to get something electronically, but if you do have Harnett Regional Water, you should receive the county routes, and this is more of a every other month instead of monthly like the e-newsletter. So when I speak about communications, in this role, I am doing news releases. When I publish those, it goes on our website, and then I'll also filter them through social media. And then also in the newsletters, I will put information about the different news releases that I have published. I spoke about the alerts that I put on the website. And does anyone have Nextdoor or subscribe to Nextdoor? Okay, so I'm the person who will publish things on Nextdoor as well. So I know that with Nextdoor, you guys get alerts, so I try to keep those to more important things rather than to send you something every hour or every day. So I also want to make you guys aware of our 2032 strategic plan. In my role, one of the most important things that I'm working on right now is our website redesign. So if you've been to our website, we are updating it. And the current phase that we are at right now is working with the various departments to move over the updated and necessary information, because we didn't want to move over anything that is outdated or doesn't apply or just. So we are in that process, and we will go live with our new website in the next few months, and you guys will know when that date is. Our Board of Commissioners meetings is every first and third Monday of the month. So on the first Monday, it's at 9 o'clock a.m., and on the third Monday, it's at 6 o'clock p.m., and it's in our room upstairs. And if you are unable to watch our Board of Commissioners meeting, I have recap videos that I have been creating where it's probably 5 minutes or less, and it's a recap of whatever the meeting was about. So that's on our YouTube, and you can get to that on our website as well. And when we launch our new website, there's going to be a specific web page for those where you can find it. So some county updates to make you aware of. I get a lot of inquiries or calls about broadband, and we have a lot of broadband companies coming to Harnett County. So 3 of them is CloudWise, Brightspeed, and Lumos. So these are 3, and they are contracted either individually with people. They can contact you to say, hey, are you interested in receiving internet services? And you have that option to go with that company. Or, as I stated, we have these 3, and I'm sure that others will come as well. The health department is now extending their family planning clinic hours on the first Thursday of each month from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. And beginning in July, our solid waste department will extend their convenience sites Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m., except for our Campbell location. If you guys have watched the news, you may be familiar with the rabies outbreak that's going on right now. So it's not only our county, it's surrounding counties as well. So I want to let you know to be careful with wildlife and also with your own domestic animals. If you have any, make sure that they get rabies vaccination and keep those up to date. I also had pamphlets on our desk about the voter ID requirements that are going to be changing for the upcoming elections. So you can read more about that. And if you don't have an ID, then it gives information on how you can obtain one. Next week, we have 4th of July, so we will not have a Board of Commissioners meeting on Monday, July 3rd, and we will be closed on Tuesday, July 4th for Independence Day. So as I stated, I handle our social media platforms, and these are what we have: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube, and then Nextdoor. And our website is www.harnett.org. So if you don't follow us and you do have a social media, I would say you can follow us, and I am publishing things daily on social media, because you don't get that alert like you do on Nextdoor where it comes directly to your email. So also, you can visit our website. The information is also there as well. I want to put on you guys a radar that I, myself, and a few other departments are planning. So you can save the date for August 17th, 4 p.m. to 7 p.m. We're going to have a community day event. And this is for our citizens, you. It's for you to learn about our resources, our services, things that we can provide to you as citizens. So we will have vendors, which will be Harnett County departments, to come and let you know how we can assist you, what are the resources, different programs, events that they have going on. We're also going to have the North Carolina Food Bank here, and we're going to be giving away free food for people who may need it. We're going to have games, some inflatables for children. Food trucks will be on site. Individuals can get immunizations. We're specifically doing immunizations for children who may be going to school and may need that. We'll have live entertainment, performances, face painting, and we'll also have balloons. if you know the balloons that they craft into different animals and different designs, we'll have that on site. EMS and fire truck education and more. So spread the word. Like I said, this is our save the date. We want everyone to register. So if you register online or if you register in person, I would suggest registering online when we do go live next month for registration. So I see some people taking pictures with their phone. You are free to take pictures of it, to keep it in your cell phone and spread the word. I now want to pass the mic to my manager, Brent Trout.
Thank you, Desiree. It's great to have you here. She has been very, very busy since she started working on many, many things, getting us back out into the public and making people aware of what's been going on. So I sure appreciate it very, very much. So tonight, the first part is to talk about the budget. And I would be remiss without recognizing Lisa McFadden, our budget director. She is the one that spends countless hours preparing the budget and getting it ready, tells me where we have things, and then helps me to be able to make these decisions. So truly appreciate you being here as well. And if there's a question that I can't answer, I think she can. So we're in a good situation right now with our budget. Really, we've been able to see a growth in revenues. And even though we've seen a large growth in expenditures, you'll see that we've been able to cover that with some good revenues as well. So what I'm going to start with is a video that was produced with the help of Lisa and Desiree to outline the changes and things that were put into the budget. So I want to play that first, and then from there, then we will go into answering any questions that you may have, and I'll cover any specific items.
Sorry. There we go. All right.
the camera. The people here work.
That's YouTube. All right.
All right. Well, for me, I think that there's so many things that are impacted in our budget and that change that's a much easier way to be able to see it, to understand the specific changes that occurred. Um, as you look at the general fund budget, it outlines some of the programs that are listed here and some of the initiatives that occurred. Oops. Um, to point out, we took some action as it relates to supporting our community college. Also, our Harnett County schools with an 8% increase. We made what amounted to another 1% increase in the teacher supplement pay, which is important as we try to compete against neighboring counties in order to maintain our teacher pool. Um, there are no major capital outlays for schools this year, as in a new school or that type of thing, in this year's budget. But we do know that the school is making an application to the lottery account at the state to help fund a middle school. And so, if they're able to secure that funding, then we'll work to implement the funding that we would have as a match for that program in the coming year. And so it would be listed as a capital project in the coming year. If they're not successful, they have told us they will move forward with the middle school, whether they receive that funding or not. And so the next thing we'll see in next year's budget will be a middle school for funding. We've been making some investment in our own staff. As you see, we did a compensation study to look at what our staff was getting paid as compared to the market, and made a determination that we needed to make a 5% market adjustment and a 3% cost of living adjustment to all staff. We made additional increases as it comes to our public safety employees, which is anyone related to our EMS or our law enforcement individuals. They have seen the largest increases as it relates to salaries in the market. And so, in order to maintain our important public first responders, we made that additional. It shows there we had 28 new full time positions. A lot of that comes out of the fact that we're a growing county, and these departments have increasing workloads. So, as you look at our Department of Social Services, their caseload numbers continue to climb as more individuals move into the county. We've got a responsibility to try and keep that caseload at an appropriate level that the state sets out as a guideline. And so we made the decision to hire some additional staff there. And we saw that in other departments, such as Veteran Services. And so those are important investments that we're making. We also had to increase what we pay our rescue squads. We contract with some of the neighboring, I would call them townships in this area, that provide rescue squad service to residents in various parts of the county. And so we increased what we were providing for them. A few fire districts are making improvements, both in the structures and or equipment that they have. So we increased their property tax. We kept our property tax rate the same as it was last year at 59.1 cents per hundred. And that is an important accomplishment. We are seeing good increases when it comes to sales tax revenues as well, and that is helping us to be able to maintain the property tax rate at that level as well. At this point, I'm going to stop and see if there are any questions that anyone has as it relates to our budget.
Just a question, is there any way one county can share with another county, or one department share with another department, common overhead costs and management things?
Well, in some situation, it's possible to do that. I think that's something that you find is more prevalent in more rural, smaller populated counties. At our situation right now, typically we have enough demand for the services that we're providing, the necessary overhead and structure that's required in order for just to be able to function on our system. So, but we are part of a council of governments. We talk frequently with our county neighbors, and we look at any opportunity there is where it makes sense that we would partner. Yes, ma'am.
Could you explain about the sales tax revenue? Because anyone who has an address that is not within Harnett County, like for example, mine is Fuquay, and when I do online purchases or whatever, they only give you room for the first part of your zip code, and that is Wake County.
Correct.
Do they get that revenue and we are missing out on that?
There is some instance of that occurs. We recently had an individual in our finance department that had worked with the Department of Revenue at the state level, and he did an analysis of what we're seeing in that area. So there is a little bit of loss that occurs, but we also receive some additional from other parts of the county where their address relates, say, over in Dunn, where those individuals that live in another county were receiving. I wouldn't say it completely washes out, but it is one of those things that we're going to have to continue to monitor. If you use the 9-digit, it is that it will get sent to the appropriate county. We are finding that most of those retailers that we work with, the online companies, they are submitting it correctly, and that we will end up receiving that money. But I can't say that it's 100%, and it is something that we want to find an additional solution to ensure that we're receiving all the sales tax money that we're due.
Is there any way, and I imagine this is not within our authority, that if you live in the county, your post office should be in the county?
Right, and that is something that we would like to see the post office change. People prior to me have pursued that with the post office, and at this point we haven't been successful at them creating additional post office location that would create a location that people, especially on the western side of the county, that have Sanford or Cameron addresses, or even others in Cumberland County, that they would then have a post office that they could call their own with a new zip code that would allow those individuals. Yeah, it is a challenge for us that we are continuing to try and find a solution to. And I don't know what that answer is going to be, but there has to be one out there to get something changed that allows it. And we've been pursuing it both on the state level and the federal level as options, and we'll eventually get there, I think.
Hope so.
Other questions? Yes. Yes.
Oh, mine is a twofold question.
Okay.
With the advent of the conditions in the jail now being televised, I think even today, the second round of televising on condition of the jail becoming a public issue, and with no cameras and no other way of the county monitoring the condition of the building they spent $27 million on. Is there wiggle room in the budget if there is monitoring, mandated by the county? Could the county now come and readjust the budget and say, yeah, we'll be able to pay for cameras or surveillance or monthly inspection for the jail?
Well, this budget is a living document, so throughout the year, the board will look at various requests that come from all departments or any department. We will look to determine if it's something that we would like to pursue and fund, and so we make those decisions at various times throughout the year. So we can't, as much as we'd like to be able to say we can predict every situation and issue that might come up, we can't. So we analyze each new issue and determine whether it's something that should be funded. Anything else? Well, I'll pass it on to the next person and give you my personal thanks for coming tonight. And remember that you can always call my office and ask a question either through Desiree or through the main line for the county manager's office, and we'll be happy to get you an answer. All right. Thank you.
All right. So next we are going to have Lynn.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Lynn Lambert, the Natural Resources Director here with the Soil and Water Conservation District Office. We are a smaller office located in the Agriculture Center here with Harnett County government. Many of you all, or hopefully all of you all, have been to the ballot box at some point in time, and you will see occasionally a board of supervisors or soil and water conservation board of supervisors on the ballot. And that is because we are governed by a 5-member board. 3 of our board members are elected in the general election, and 2 of our board members are appointed by the Soil and Water Conservation District. Or by the Soil and Water Conservation Commission that is within the North Carolina Department of Agriculture, which is our state office. We have 4 people on staff to serve the agricultural and natural resources needs of the county. So as you can imagine, with the county the size of ours, with the amount of agriculture present and the blessing of the multitude of natural resources that we have here in Harnett County, we have a full schedule. Our staff stays very busy on a daily basis. So one of our, or the really main mission that we have in a nutshell is to provide services that help farmers and farmland owners manage the natural resources that they have available there on those properties that they manage. And we do this through voluntary incentive-driven resource management, along with providing conservation education to both youth and adults to help foster an appreciation of our county's abundant natural resources and agriculture. We also have the Natural Resources Conservation Service that is located there within our office. So they are our federal partner, and they help facilitate a multitude of federal programs along those same lines while we manage the state level and county level natural resources and agriculture programs. The way that we do this is we oftentimes are able to make available to our farmers and farmland owners a variety of cost share programs where we have a specific amount of funding allocated to our office each year through the Division of Soil and Water Conservation through NCDA. We have our agricultural cost share program, which its main intent is to prevent non-point source pollution from agricultural land, and we help farmers implement best management practices to protect their soil health, basically helping to protect the soil from erosion with that particular cost share program. And in turn, we are protecting water quality, which we know is a valuable resource. We also have the Ag Wrap program, and many times water is a limiting factor for agricultural production. And so the Ag Wrap program, we are able to help increase water quantity available for crop irrigation on farms. And that can be row crop irrigation on traditional agricultural crops such as soybeans, corn, tobacco, those types of things. It can also be crop irrigation on vegetables and produce. Which we have a growing number of farms that are providing vegetables and produce within Harnett County. We also have a limited availability of what's called the CCAP program, the Community Conservation Assistance Program, and this is more of an urban or residential cost share assistance program. These funds are not given at the county level. We actually have to compete for these funds on a regional basis. The pot of money that our state office is allocated for this particular program from the state legislature is not large enough to give all of the soil and water conservation districts statewide really an allocation across the board that would make much impact. And so they have made this a regional competition. And so when we have suitable applications, we submit those at the state level, and then we compete with several other counties in this region for those funds. But we have been successful with a few of those projects. And then from time to time, we don't like to get these funds because we know there's been a natural disaster large enough for these funds to be needed. But from time to time, we do gain access to what's called the disaster recovery program in order to help farms and farmland recover and maintain business operations from a natural disaster. And so one particular instance was after Hurricane Matthew, and then again after Hurricane Florence, we were able to secure funding to put farm roads back in place that were washed out, and they had limited access to livestock operations, and feed trucks could not get in and out to those animals. And so we were able to provide emergency funding for that, as well as you can imagine, when Mother Nature drops that much rain at a rapid pace, there's some erosion that goes on in the fields and limits agricultural production. And so we were able to get funding to help offset the cost of those repairs as well. Moving heavy equipment in these fields to move dirt about and put it back where it needs to be in a lot of cases is expensive work. And so they are certainly appreciative when we gain access and can help make those funds available. And then RCS has their own cost share programs as well. And with all of these programs, we have to focus on research-based best management practices. And so while our staff, we are not engineers, we are conducting engineer-level type design work in some cases. And we have a process that we go through with our state office and within RCS to gain what's called job approval authority and provide evidence that we have competence in those areas and can design these particular best management practices that are needed on our farms. These are a few examples of some sites that we have worked on in the county. This is a site where we've got some erosion going on in a crop field, and so we actually put into place the best management practice of cropland conversion to grass. And so instead of this field being on a slope, being continued in row crop production, it was put into a hay field, which of course roots help to hold the soil in place and protect it from erosion. And so this was taken just a few short weeks after the grass was planted. And so as you can imagine, the next season or the next spring, this grass was even more lush and thick and really doing its job to protect the natural resources. This is a picture of a grass waterway that is put in a field. A grass waterway is sort of a shallow, wide ditch that we go out into the field, and we use laser levels. We use a lot of mapping tools, and we determine exactly where these grass waterways need to be placed into the field to be sort of in the line of the natural flow of water. And when I teach kids, and my staff always laughs at me when I do this, but I compare a grass waterway and the vegetation that grows in it to like a football field. A football player on the field, their goal is to get the ball and run just as fast as they can to the other end. And if the defense is not doing a very good job, they can do that and score a touchdown fairly quickly. But if the defense is doing their job, they're slowed down greatly. They have to dodge and bob and weave and go between the defensive players in order to score that touchdown and make it across the field. Where water droplets running through a field have to act in that same manner to make it around the vegetation within this grass waterway. So when we put these waterways in, we're actually slowing down the natural flow of water through these fields, and in turn it leaves the soil particles in place and whatever other substances that water runoff may be carrying, and it settles out into the field where it's supposed to be instead of running off into our nearby creeks and streams. So we have protected both water quality and soil quality by putting into place this best management practice. And that's a picture of another that we've put into place with a cost share program. This is another picture. We also help livestock producers as well as row crop producers. And so this is an example where we were able to fence livestock out of a pond and put in a watering tank system for them in order to gain access to fresh water instead of going into the pond for their water needs. All of our cost share practices take many visits out to the field. Here in the top left corner, we've got actually a soil science that we work with rather closely that comes down from our state office from time to time when we need him to do more in-depth soils investigations than what we have the capability to do. So we do have access to licensed soil scientists that we work very closely with. And then the picture down towards the bottom is us meeting with not only our soil scientists, but an engineer that we have access to through our state office. And in this particular case, we were meeting with the landowner and we were designing a farm pond for crop irrigation. And there is the end product of the pond that was installed. In addition to the technical pieces of our office, we also have a rather robust conservation education program. We have a lot of outreach with youth. We do multiple conservation and agriculture related field days each year. We go into the schools, both public, private, charter, and home schools, and we do different classroom demonstrations. We attend multiple career fairs during the course of the year trying to get kids interested in agriculture and natural resources conservation. We have a very competitive Envirothon program where we work with both middle school and high school teachers to help coach Envirothon teams who then go on to area, state, and even national level competitions. We have youth that attend the resource conservation workshop each year. That's actually going on at NC State right now. Our board sponsors usually 4 students, one from each of the high school each year, that have an interest in pursuing agriculture or natural resources as a career, and they attend this week-long workshop at NC State University and really get to make a lot of great connections and meet a lot of resource professionals that can help them in their future educational goals and career. We also offer a number of summer workshops in the area of agriculture and natural resources. We have a job shadowing program, often with high school students, and we support our local FFA chapters in coaching their career development teams. We also offer a variety of workshops for adults in the area of conservation education and agriculture. We do adult field days as well, demonstration plots on farms, as well as we conduct numerous field visits that are not cost share related. We go out just to educate the farmers or farmland owners, and with the growth in our county, we're now doing quite a few residential visits to help residential landowners better understand how to manage the natural resources on their properties as well. And then you'll hear more in just a few minutes from our office assistant or administrative assistant, Morgan Pope, about the Keep Harnett Beautiful Litter Sweep initiative that she is the coordinator of. And this is just a few quick pictures of some of our educational events, RCW, field days. We also have a farmland preservation component of our office where we work with farmers and farmland owners in preserving the working farmland that we have here in Harnett County. Currently, we have over 27,000 acres enrolled in the Voluntary Agriculture District, and this is where farmland owners have an intention of keeping their land in working farm status for a minimum of 10 years. So they sign up to enroll in this program. You've probably seen quite a few of those signs there as you drive up and down the roads within the county. It is called the Voluntary Agriculture District because anytime within that 10-year period, if there comes a need for them to change the land use of that property and for it not to be an ag use, they still absolutely can do so. All they have to do is withdraw the property from that program, and then that designation goes away. But most of them, the large majority of folks that enroll in that program do stay in it a minimum of 10 years and actually way beyond that. But the Voluntary Agriculture District, or the VAD, is our baseline farmland preservation program. We also assist farmland owners in applying for conservation easements that can be term, can be 15, 20, 30, 50, or even perpetual conservation easements where the development rights are held by a certain entity. The landowner still gets to farm their land. They still own their land. They're still responsible for the land, but by putting it in a conservation easement, it takes away those development rights and it ensures that that land is preserved for the purpose of working agricultural land and food and or timber production for years to come. In helping us with the farmland preservation program, we have another board that our office works with. We work very closely with our agricultural advisory board, and this board is set up to where there's a representative from each of the 5 different commissioner districts, as well as we have an at-large member, and then it is a requirement that one of the members be a soil and water conservation representative, and so we have that member that comes from our soil and water board as well to ensure the conservation aspect. Harnett County, we are still in the top when it comes to agriculture in North Carolina. I believe here when we pulled these numbers, we were 15th in total agricultural cash receipts out of all 100 counties in North Carolina, 11th in sweet potatoes, and 13th in broilers or meat-type chickens, 17th in swine, and 19th in cotton production. And so we are still in the top 20 out of 100 counties and a lot in several of our primary commodities that we produce here. With our various soil types in Harnett County, it really does allow us to be a very diverse agricultural county. So we are very fortunate to have that. And I actually have another meeting to get to in just a few minutes, so I will entertain questions now before I pass it off to Morgan if anyone has a question. Yes, sir.
Yeah, how I look at it is that the economic development of this county has to be able to have agriculture compete with housing and other types of businesses. And I don't know, but can someone take a look at and see from the university, preferably, whether vertical greenhouses, hemp industry, or even medical plants produce medicine are feasible to be able to compete with the things you're doing here. Because as I see it, I don't know financially if any of the things you see now in North Carolina is going to compete in the future. You have the falling apart of the tobacco industry here because of the restrictions in the product, and you have these sheds that could be used for vertical or hemp agriculture.
So a lot of our farmers in Harnett County are really on the cutting edge of agriculture. We have some that are actually in partnership with land-grant universities such as NC State that are conducting research actually on their farms. We have farmers in the county that have been very active with the legislation surrounding hemp production in Harnett County. And so we do have a lot of very cutting edge agricultural production that is going on here, both small and large scale. The majority of our tobacco producers are still in business, even with the transition of the tobacco industry within North Carolina. Our tobacco farmers still are going strong, and they are incorporating other unique crops such as hemp in with their crop rotations, as well as sweet potatoes, sorghum, millet. They are incorporating several different row crop commodities in to maintain a crop rotation that maintains soil health as well as helps bring in additional income and diversifies the production that they have going on their farm. And so they are very well aware of the change that's taking place in the agricultural industry. Not only are they diversifying their crops that they're actually producing, they are actually diversifying the type of agriculture that's going on their farm. Several have found ways to incorporate agritourism as a part of their agribusiness there on their farm. And of course, with the residential growth that we have experienced over the last several years, agricultural education beyond what county government can do is very important. And what better place to learn about food production and where your agriculture and where your food comes from is from the farmer and from the farm themselves. And so we have quite a few successful agritourism farms here in the county that are adding to that agricultural revenue that this county still enjoys.
Two quick ones. What percentage of the land in Harnett is agricultural right now? It seems to me it keeps going down every year. And the second question is, does your agency interact with the developers with what they're doing to the land and water erosion and that sort of thing?
Right. So I do not know the percentage that we are still agriculture. You are right. We are seeing a decrease in agricultural lands every year. However, we are still going strong in terms of the economic impact that it makes. Agriculture is still bringing in over $200 million to the county each year, and a lot of that agricultural money that comes into the county, of course, there's a lot of overhead involved with farming, the large equipment, seed costs, chemical costs, fertilizer costs, those types of things, but a lot of that money stays local. And so we are very excited to see that we are still going strong acreage-wise, even though we are seeing a reduction in farmland overall. They're figuring out how to grow those crops that are of a higher value on a smaller amount of land in many cases. And we will continue to hopefully help them make connections with the university and other resources to continue efforts in that way. And to answer your question about are we involved, our office is an educational resource, so we are not regulatory in any way. We are often in conversation with, say, development services, who would be the regulatory arm in issuing the permits and approving the stormwater plans and those types of things. So yes, we often have conversations with development services. We often have conversations with landowners that are looking to purchase property in Harnett County. We receive quite a few calls monthly from people that are looking and they have questions about their land or about their potential land, and they're wanting to understand the slope, the soil type, the natural resources that are there. If they see some sort of best management practice that is in place on the property, they will actually call and ask, why is it there? What was it for? We also have access to historical aerials that tell us a lot. Back to the 1930s. And so we can actually go back and look at those historical aerials and see the land use change over time. And that really tells us a lot about why things are a certain way on these properties, because we can watch it change throughout history. And so that can be a great educational tool as we're planning for the future. Any others? All right. If not, I'll turn it over to Morgan for our Keep Harnett Beautiful program.
Good evening, everybody. I am Morgan, as she said. I'm the admin support specialist at the Soil and Water Conservation District office, and I am the Keep Harnett Beautiful coordinator. So basically with Keep Harnett Beautiful, oh, it went back. So who we are and what we do. So basically what we are trying to do is establish a litter-free environment. We have multiple natural resources throughout our county here. Our largest one being our Cape Fear River, which is where all of our drinking water comes from. We like to try to not see litter as we drive down the road every day, and we try to get citizens to be involved to help take the initiative to clean up our county. Keep Harnett Beautiful actually is kind of a spin-off from Keep America Beautiful, which was formed in 1953. So it's been going on quite a while, and we're picking it up here and trying to make things better for everybody that lives here. Unfortunately, the litter here in Harnett County, I despise using COVID as an excuse, but when everybody was getting takeout and they weren't able to go in and sit at restaurants, we found that there was more litter because people were getting takeout, and instead of taking home their trash to throw it away, they're throwing it out the window of their vehicles or, something like that. So it picked up quite a bit. I have had, is my impact report on here? Okay, next. Cool. So this is the video. Hang tight, we'll do this next. All right. So, excuse me. The goal for Keep Harnett Beautiful is to raise awareness for our citizens and help people understand the negative effects that littering has on our water quality and soil health. We're fortunate as the diverse array of natural resources maintained to enjoy environment and economic development and make it attractive for our businesses coming in as well. So I'm going to let you guys watch a quick little video that we created. We had some fun with it to push out to the citizens to see that it's not necessarily hard work, but it can be fun as well. It does say spring, so ignore the spring part, but we'll let you watch this. Oh.
Doesn't want to.
No, push on the floor. There we go.
Let's get ready to rumble! Y'all ready for this? Come on and slam, and welcome to the jam. Come on and slam, you wanna jam.
All right, so you can see that was multiple different people here throughout the county that work for Harnett County or used to work for Harnett County. We had fun putting that little video together for you guys. With our spring litter sweep, we have got the first one. So the first one was spring for 22. The second one was spring for 23. So you can kind of see that our numbers rose. We were able to get the word out there. People were finally starting to want to get out and do things when COVID ended. We were able to collect over 250 tires and other large items in spring of 22 and over 325 tires and other large items in spring of 23. Now, with that being said, we host for Harnett County, we host one in the spring and we host one in the fall. So we're trying to do April and October for those two sweeps. But really, any time is a good time. All you have to do is contact me. I'm at the Soil and Water office. I can give you guys some information of our phone numbers and stuff after. But like I said, any time is a great time to clean up. We provide gloves, picker-uppers, vests, and the trash bags. So all you have to do is call me, let me know what you guys are needing, and then I can get that stuff to you guys somehow. And lastly, just the most common littered items that we see around the county. Cigarette butts being number one. That's number one that we have seen. Fast food packaging and mattresses, tires, vehicle debris, plastic bags, bottles, and construction waste. So, like I said, if you guys have any more questions or any information that I can help you guys with, or maybe help coordinate your local neighborhood or your church group or anybody really, just reach out to me and I will be able to get you guys hooked up with some stuff and help keep Harnett beautiful.
Can I just say something here?
Yeah.
When I moved to Harnett County, I was actually shocked. And it wasn't since COVID, okay? It's been a long time. I've never seen such a dirty county. Litter, I couldn't believe it. And this is good. This is something people can do to feel good. But this does nothing to address the litter problem. And I think there needs to be a campaign. I honestly think people don't know what to do with their litter, with their garbage. You know, they don't want to hire a trash company to come pick it up. So it's easier just to throw it in the creek off the Valley Road. You know, and all of that, you know, it is sickening. And I think there needs to be a huge campaign. Let people know where to take their litter if they don't have trash pickup. Even if you do, they don't pick everything up. I don't think people know what to do. Secondly, I don't think some of them want to do it. It's just so easy. But why should the good citizens have to pick up after everybody else all the time? Now, do we? Yeah, we do. But this is a responsibility of everybody, and I really think there needs to be some kind of program to, let's start with the kids in school, don't pollute. I mean, I'm thinking way back, or the American Indian that cried, when he's looking at the litter all over the place.
Right.
We have to start getting with the kids and saying, hey, your dad throws the beer bottle out, the window, say something. Hey, Dad.
That's absolutely right. So,
or let's put up signs that say, God is watching. I don't know, but we've got to get people to feel guilty about littering.
absolutely. So I will speak to that a little bit. With the Keep Harnett Beautiful initiative, it has just kind of really been pushed hard the last couple years. So I have taken control of this over the last couple years. I'm doing my very best to reach out to citizens, schools. I have been able to go out and speak to different schools. My only concern with reaching out to students is I don't want children on the side of the road cleaning up the road, so when we have to have their adults, their parents or older citizens, so that it's not the liability of us having this.
Right?
Used to.
Yeah, used to. So like I said, this is a newer program. I am working diligently on building this, making it grow as much as I can. But we do rely heavily on our citizens here in Harnett County. And unfortunately, I don't have an answer as to why. The good ones get to pick up the trash, the other ones didn't. That the other ones left. I am working to do all of this, reach out, hold meetings. That's why I'm here tonight speaking to you guys. But for sure, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, always reach out to me. I'm still new at this, so any information that you guys have or comments that you think could help, absolutely reach out to me. I tell everybody I'm here all the time because my phone always goes off. But I love doing it. I want to touch mainly on the protection of our natural resources here in the county. But I do agree with it looks trashy and we don't like it. So we work closely with solid waste. Our environmental officer here with the Sheriff's Department in Harnett County. DOT has been a huge asset to me. I will say that they have done great and worked with me to get the word out, as well as cleaning up bags that people have already taken their time out of their day to conduct a sweep. So they have been going out and picking up those bags for us as well.
That was going to be my question. Like, once you picked up the trash, who takes the bag away?
DOT.
So you just leave it at the top of the road?
So, yes. So we do not currently have a company that can go out and pick up bags and other debris that are on the side of the road. Future plans. But we right now, as long as it's more than 5 trash bags, full trash bags, then I am the contact person for that. You can reach out to me. I notify DOT and let them know where it is and what type of litter that it is, whether it be larger items or the full trash bags, and then they get one of their people out there to pick it up. Yes, sir.
There used to be signage that stated $50 fine for littering.
Yes, sir.
Is that still in existence?
I haven't seen any.
So that's not necessarily through us for Harnett County. That would be through DOT that maintain those, as well as the the Adopt a Highway program. The Adopt a Highway is also through DOT, and we don't have any control over that portion either.
Well, since you said you work very closely with DOT, could you pass that?
Yes, yes, I can. Yes. So I have worked with our environmental officer here recently, and we just were able to get some no littering signs printed with the general statute on it, with the legal ramifications of what can happen if you actually get caught littering.
You're not going to get anyone's attention until you hit their pocketbook. If you hit their pocketbook, they're going to get their attention.
Right. So when we are noticing certain roads, I know they put out one of those signs on Red Hill Church Road over in Coates. There's some in Bun Level, as well as I think it's Wire Road. We constantly get complaints about specific roads. There's a handful of roads that are less populated, and that's where people tend to go to dump their trash. And with working with our environmental officer, we have been able to stop some of that as well. You do have authority if you know that they're dumping on your property. You are welcome to put up cameras, no littering signs at your own discretion as well. And if you catch anybody, feel free to reach out to our environmental officer, and he will get somebody out there to take care of it.
There's another problem with having good citizens go out and do this, or really anybody. I'm thinking, I walk Ballard Road all the time, and either the grass along the road is too high, so you're gonna find litter in there. God knows what else you're gonna find in there, snakes and things. But that road is just the ditches are all poison ivy. So this is a constant problem. We have good people going out, picking up, going into poison ivy, they may not even know what it is.
Okay. I will work with DOT on that and see what their schedule is for mowing and things like that and how they handle that, because unfortunately I do not have the answer. If you would like to leave your information with me at the end, I can find out tomorrow and give you a call. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
Are there any partnerships with businesses or nonprofit organizations to have a cleanup day, and there is they are mentioned somewhere? Because I know as a business owner, we would like to go and do that. And state employees, they have their 24 hours of community service. So, maybe an office could get together and do it or something. So just a couple of thoughts.
So we have a couple different businesses. We had some realtors reach out to us, and they were actually from Ann Milton and a couple other different ones. They went out with their crews and completed a sweep. We've had Planet Fitness and Dunn complete a sweep. Who was before Mama's House of Thrift? On our Keep Harnett Beautiful Facebook page, we offer incentives as well as their recognition on the internet and things like that.
outside of Facebook as well, because a lot of people are on Facebook. Or
Yeah, so we've sent all our information out in the newsletters that Desiree mentioned earlier. They were also put in the county routes for the water bill. She posted on Nextdoor. So we try to get out to, all that most of our citizens do see. Yes.
I was going to say that you have all these people at the college and other institutions of education here that are supposed to be doing so much time for their social and their community as part of their degree.
So
I don't think they're being utilized as much as they should be.
I do agree with you on that. So I have been working on a couple different proposals for our sheriff here, as well as other people in the county that might be an asset to help out with certain things like that. So, like I said, still a new program. I'm trying to reach out to the assets that I have right now that are able to make decisions and help us get some more people out. I will say that I do have citizens in a couple different areas of the county that will take it upon themselves to conduct a litter sweep. If I have a road, like Wire Road, for example, over in Bun Level, I have a citizen out there that will call and say, hey, I'm going to go clean up this road today. Have you heard anything? Have you had any calls about it being littered or things like that? So, and then they will go out and clean it up for us. So we do have citizens that reach out and conduct these sweeps, and we're pushing it as hard as we can to get the information out there. So feel free to share it, like I said, on our Facebook page, share any posts we have, things like that. Got it.
Would the county ever consider contracting with one of our many refuse businesses to do roads?
Possibly. That's just questions and concerns that have to be brought up in time.
Maybe Brent is the person that gets that question.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
We have one more, and this is Angela with our library services. And if you guys have more questions for Morgan, she can answer them at the end.
Good evening. I'm really excited to be able to share with you about the resources and services that we have available here at the Harnett County Public Library. I hope that you've all had an opportunity to visit our new library here, right next door. It is beautiful, and we have lots of programming space, but that's not all we have in Harnett County. We have library locations located throughout the county. So everything that I'm talking about tonight applies to all our locations in some shape or manner, maybe not to the level of what we can offer here because some of their spaces are smaller, but they all offer similar programs to us. So the library's mission is to provide a welcoming space that fosters lifelong learning, literacy, and the exchange of ideas. Our library staff is committed to serve everyone regardless of their age or their interest or their background. And so whether you're a student seeking information or a parent looking for engaging activities for your children or a senior just interested in expanding your horizons, the Harnett County Library has something for you. So, we live in a technology and electronics-driven world, and because of that, the future of libraries it's been brought into question a lot. Like, will we have libraries one day? Why do we need libraries? Libraries are associated with books and information, and we all know that we can get those very easily on our cell phones. People don't really, they've even done away with some reference librarian positions because people can get their own information. However, what people don't understand is that the library is way more than books. We are a place for people to gather, a community hub, and for many people, we are a lifeline for their culture and social resources, and even more. And I want to talk a little bit about those. I didn't need it quite yet, but I do need it now. Okay. Okay, there we go. All right, and to kind of give you an idea of how busy we are, a lot of people don't understand that. What do you do in a library? You just sit around and read all day. But we are not. Last year, Actually, this statistic is not right because I did put in 22, but just from July 1 of last year to May 31st of this year, we've had 156,000 people to walk through our doors. That is incredible, and we've already exceeded our numbers for 12 months of last year. We have 110 registered users, and we have 199,000 items available for checkout. But in addition to that, we hosted over 1,000 programs last year, or just in the last 11 months, and we've had 19,000 attendees at these programs. So I'm really excited to see. We end our statistical year June 30th, and I cannot wait to see what our numbers are for this year. So we have an extensive collection of books for checkout, including your regular fiction, nonfiction, young adult and children's literature, from the best sellers to timeless classics. We strive to cater to diverse reading needs, and like I said, we have about close to 200,000 items in our system. However, Harnett County Library belongs to this beautiful NC Cardinal system. NC Cardinal is a consortium of libraries. It was a statewide initiative established to promote resource sharing and collaboration among member libraries. So all these counties that you see up in green, and you can see Harnett right there in the middle, we all share the same catalog and the same management system for circulating our items. So what does that mean to you? If you come to Harnett County Out Library, you have access to 200,000 items, but because we're part of NC Cardinal, you have access to 7.9 million items. So when you come to the library, there's an item you want, we don't have it, we check our system everywhere in Harnett County, no one has it. We get online, we look, we find it for you, we place it on hold for you. You can even do this from the comfort of your home, and that item will be shipped to the library of your choice in Harnett County for you to pick up. It's a beautiful system. It has been a huge cost savings. The cost of this system is about a third of the system that we were using prior to NC Cardinal, and we were only limited to our items. So this has been a beautiful thing. We joined in 2015, and it's the best thing since sliced bread. Our patrons love it. If you haven't tried it, I encourage you to give it a try. So, as I said, the library is not just about books. We now have a thing called a library of things. So we're not just circulating books or DVDs anymore. We're also circulating seeds for your garden. We are circulating games and puzzles and exercise kits. We're circulating Chromebooks with hotspots and all kinds of health kits that you can use and take home and try them out. You might decide you might want to buy your own, or you might decide you don't like it and you just bring it back. You might like it and check it out 2 or 3 more times. But we have all these library things throughout our libraries in Harnett County. So we all like reading from the convenience of our home, and sometimes it's not convenient. We learned throughout COVID that people, we're not going to get out. We are in the digital age, and so we recognize the importance of convenience. So with your library card and a download of the Libby app right here, also known as Overdrive, to your personal device, you can access ebooks, e-magazines, and audiobooks. And again, allows you to enjoy them from your car. Well, not reading, but if you're listening, unless you're the passenger, of course, or from your home, and instead of wasting your money on a subscription services like Audible or Amazon Kindle Unlimited, save your money and use your library card to check out our items here. It works very similar to Audible and eKindle. You just download it to your device. The great thing is when it's overdue or when it's time for it to go back, it just disappears. And then you can check it out again if you didn't finish it. But there are no overdue fines. It's magical.
I am canceling Audible.
Well, I brought directions with me that I'm going to hand to you so that you can know exactly how to down. It is very easy. If you can do Audible, you can do Libby.
Awesome.
All right. I'm going to skip through some of these because I feel like my presentation may be a little long, and I don't want to keep you here longer than we have to. So, how many of you have noticed a difference in the newspaper industry in the last few years?
What newspaper?
Newspapers these days are number one is they're very expensive. They are producing them less and a higher cost for our consumers. And we even found that in trying to order magazines for the library. It was almost ridiculous the amount of money that they were spending. And then on top of that, they were like, "Well, we can't get it to you that first day. We'll mail it to you." So my thought was, we're paying that amount of money to receive news that's 2 days late. It just didn't make sense to me. And while we still subscribe to several print magazines, we found a solution to that. And so we worked with a company called Newsbank, who offers electronic full text articles from newspapers such as the Charlotte Observer, the News and Observer, the Fayetteville Observer, the Daily Record, the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, and USA Today. And you can log on with your library card and get the full length, read your newspaper, again, from the comfort of your home, your personal device, or you can come to the library and use one of our computers. Another one of our very popular services these days is called Book a Librarian. We all know that there is a digital divide, and especially among our older senior citizens. They didn't get computer classes when they were coming through school, and so they kind of got left out of that. But it's not just for them. We have a lot of people in Harnett County that do not have internet access. So they come to the library to use our computers. But one of our programs is called Book a Librarian, and it's a program in which you can schedule an appointment for an hour to an hour and a half to work one-on-one with a librarian who's skilled at knowing what you need. You tell them what you want, whether it be you need research on a particular subject, you need help with an online job application. No one gets a paper application these days. Everything's online, and a lot of people don't know how to navigate that. If you need help creating a resume, technology and digital assistance. Last year, we have had an elderly lady whose son or daughter gave her an iPhone for her birthday or Christmas, and she had no idea what to do with that iPhone. And over the course of about a month, and a couple times a week, she met with one of our librarians who taught her how to use her iPhone so that she could communicate with her family. And a lot of people don't know how to set up their emails. So, and you have to have an email for everything these days. So we do a lot of hand holding and one-on-one help with our citizens. But for those who need a little bit extra time, we'll make an appointment and sit down with them so that they just have that dedicated time without interruption. Again, technology access, as I was saying, a lot of our citizens, they do not have good internet or affordable internet, and so many of them come to the library to use our computers. They use our public computers for college coursework, applying for college, again, job applications. We have a lot of folks coming in creating flyers for maybe church events or programs, or connecting with loved ones. A lot of people don't have printers anymore. We have printers at the library. We even have a program called Print, so that if you do not want to sit down at a computer and log into your email to print something off, because that's very time consuming and you're in a hurry, you can actually pick up your mobile phone and send that print job directly to a printer here without having to get on the computer. You can actually send it to a printer from home and then pick it up here the next day or when you'd like. We also offer computer classes, and we have free Wi-Fi, and it's actually pretty good with Wi-Fi. We have a local history room, which is full of primary source materials from North Carolina history that dates back to the Civil War. We have obituary files. We have photo files, including the Talbot Stewart and Lucy Ezel collections. We have a collection of old and new maps, and we have collections of photos and documents that date from the 1800s to the mid-1900s. And we have a space dedicated for that local history, which is right up here in the corner. At the old library, we had a closet, and we have a nice dedicated space now that we're very thankful for. I'm not going to go into genealogical resources because that could be a little time consuming, but I do want to hit on one, which is Ancestry. Have you all heard of Ancestry.com? It's about $200 a year.
Oh,
I'm not even sure, it may be more than that. But the library offers a library edition of Ancestry.com to get you started, absolutely free of cost. You just use your library card. You have access to birth, death, and marriage records, and military records as well, and immigration records. And here are a few other resources very similar to Ancestry. Some are databases, some are subscriptions, but they are all free to you in your quest for learning more about your past, whether you are a beginner just starting out on your genealogy journey or you're a seasoned researcher. The library has something for you.
Can you access that from home? You have to come here for that.
You can access, I want to make sure I tell you right, because there's some of our resources that you do have to access here in the building. I'll check that to make sure. That may be one that you have to access in the building. All our libraries in Harnett County have meeting spaces, but because some of our libraries are smaller, some of the spaces are a little bit small. But we all have meeting spaces here at the main library. We have a meeting room that will host 16 people. We actually have technology equipment for teleconferencing or telehealth, and we have a smaller library meeting space that makes a great place for study groups. And these rooms are booked quite often. You can book these online. The library meeting spaces in our other library branches, you can book by calling them. We have lots of community engagement and learning opportunities, and I'm just going to go into these really quickly and just kind of highlight the importance. This is the bread and butter of what we do. This is what makes a library magical to me. I'm a former children's librarian, and children are at my heart, and they just make the library just so special. And we have a very good group of children's librarians that do a really good job with our little ones. So I just wanted to tell you that by age 2, a child's brain is as active as an adult brain. And by the time he is 3, it's twice as active as an adult brain. So that tells us that children are learning so rapidly at such a young age. Nurturing early literacy habits at a young age is so important to preparing children for school and learning success. And early literacy programs such as story times, like you see here, they are absolutely vital in promoting literacy, parent-child bonding, and fostering early development and creating strong foundations for lifelong learning. Now, some children get this in daycare. We have a lot of stay-at-home moms and a lot of homeschool moms whose children would not have those if they did not bring them to the library. We have numerous early literacy programs, including a program solely for babies ages 0 to 18 months called Book Babies. We have toddler time for ages 18 months to 3. We have preschool story time for ages 3 to 5. We have literacy in motion, which is literacy and music and movement for ages 3 to 6. We have Zumbini, which is an exercise program and literacy for ages 0 to 4, and we have preschool yoga for ages 3 to 5. And we also have sensory story times. We also have school-age programs. School-age programs are designed to supplement and enrich children's education. So we offer STEM activities, book clubs. We provide all types of opportunities for these students to expand their knowledge and in critical thinking. We want to expound on what they're getting in school, or again for our homeschoolers, what they're getting at home from mom and dad. Our dedicated team of librarians are committed to supporting their academic journey and fostering a passion of lifelong learning. So some of the programs that we offer for them, and we do this during the day for our homeschoolers, and then we do it after school for kids that are attending traditional public school. But we have Lego clubs, STEM and craft activities. We have kids book clubs, and we have game clubs. And we have rooms dedicated for these programs. We also provide teen programs. You know, there's not a lot of things for teens to do these days. And we think that it's very responsible to cater to their unique needs. They need a safe space, and that's what we try to do for our teens. We offer them academic support, and we try to instill a love of reading, digital literacy, and avenues of self expression. Teens are fun. They're just like little kids. They just need love just like little ones. But we offer cultural events, guided art programs, 3D printing programs, book to movie clubs, science exploration programs, and yeah, I already said cultural events. Oh, one of the most fun things we do is it's a club called Teen Cuisine, and they did an entire series on Willet waffle. So they did cinnamon rolls. They did ice cream. They did all kinds of fun things and put it all in waffle makers and had a really good learning experience and a yummy learning experience. And the entire building smelled amazing. We also offer adult programming. Adult programming is a new thing in libraries these days because programs for adults really serve as a catalyst for personal growth. We never stop learning, and we all still need community engagement. We all need to continue that lifelong learning. So we offer educational and creative opportunities that foster social interactions and personal achievement, digital literacy, and cultural appreciation, and it enhances well-being. I mean, there are a lot of lonely people in our community, and sometimes this may be the only interaction that they get is coming to a library program. I spoke with a lady this morning who just moved here and has no family or anyone, and she wanted to know more about these programs because she needs friends. So it's a wonderful opportunity for them to get together. One of our more successful programs are crochet and knitting clubs. People just bring their things and sit around and knit and share their projects and give each other tips and hints on how to stitch better. We also have notary services. So if you need something notarized, you can come and get that here at the library for free. In some of our libraries, we offer test proctoring. And again, we've already talked about Book a Librarian. And again, we also offer technology classes. We just recently finished up a partnership with a local, well, it's not a local university. I think it's actually north of here. But they offered a teacher and all the supplies to teach early computer skills class. And for those students, adult students that attended, I think it were 4 sessions in a row, they took home a laptop computer for free. All right, so I want to talk quickly about the summer reading program because that's what we're in right now, and it's the best time of the entire year. So we all know that with the end of the school year, it's essential to recognize the immense benefits of summer reading programs offer to individuals of all ages. But first and foremost, summer reading helps children combat what we refer to as the summer slide. So, according to research, children who are not engaged in learning activities throughout the summer lose 2.5 months of math skills, 2 months of reading skills, and teachers spend 6 weeks reteaching old material. If a parent and their children spend 2 to 3 hours per week reading, they can avoid these deficiencies. And we offer all these wonderful reasons to get people to the library, to get books into their hands. I mean, yes, we do things like we have a magic show, which has nothing to do with literacy, but it gets them here and they're going to grab a bag of books and take them home before they go. This year's summer reading program theme is All Together Now, and it focuses on peace, kindness, and unity. And I want to give you just, this is a 1-minute recap of what we did last week. In fact, we can play that. We started off with the summer reading program kickoff on Saturday, and then the rest are what we did throughout the rest of the week.
Cannot believe media. I practiced this. Okay. I'll play it. I'll grab it from your email.
Okay. All right, I'll finish up and then we'll show that at the end. How about that? Can we get that back up? All right. So this is our brochure. I am not going to read all these to you because it's 6 pages long. But in this program of events, there are 247 programs, I do believe. And they are in all of our libraries throughout Harnett County. And there is something to do every day of the week, with the exception of some Saturdays and Sundays. So I brought copies of this for you to take home with you today. If you have little ones in your life or neighbors with children, please share, or even adults. There are adult programs here. We would love for you to be a part of our programs. So this was a little quick, this is what our video was about. But last week we did canvas painting for all ages. This week we're having a magician, a magic show with Eastern North Carolina magician, Dana Hill. In July, the second week in July, we're hosting Chip Gentry, who is a local falconer, and he's going to come and talk to us about the history of falconry. He's going to fly his birds around in the building. It's really cool. Lona Bartlett, she is a storyteller, a puppeteer, and a speaker, as well as an educator. She's going to be visiting here and at all our libraries at the end of July. We have story times throughout the summer for all age groups. And on Saturday, and this Saturday is one of them, we actually have this guy, Odie. He's a therapy dog, and he lets children read to him. And he sits there so patiently, and he doesn't judge them if they miss a word. And it's the most precious thing you'll ever see. So if you have grandchildren or children and you want them to sit and read with a non-judgmental, beautiful creature who will snuggle you, schedule an appointment on Saturday to come and read 20 minutes at a time. We do 3 children at a time per session. But he'll be here this Saturday, and then he'll be here again Friday the 21st. He's a regular here. He comes every few Saturdays. And again, we do Zumbini. This is a partnership with the Partnership for Children. Miss Dolly comes and teaches our littles Zumbini classes, and they do a lot of music. They call it happy hour for parents and children. For about 45 minutes, they dance and they sing and they learn, and they're worn out and ready for a nap when they leave, and that makes mommies real happy. So, all the services that I've shared with you today, most of them you do not have to have a library card. Programs, you don't have to have a library card to attend a program. You don't even have to have a library card to use a computer. You just have to get a guest pass. But it's so easy to get a library card. All you need is to be a resident of Harnett, Lee, Cumberland, Wake, Johnston, Chatham, Sampson, and Moore County. So you just have to touch Harnett County. Our library cards are free. Or you could own property in Harnett County. You could be employed in Harnett County. And when you come to get a library card, all we want is a valid ID and proof of your current residency. And you have to be 16, or you have to have mom and dad or a caregiver with you. We make it super easy. But some people are still a little hesitant because they're scared of fines. They're scared they won't turn a book back in time, and then they're going to have fines, and that's embarrassing. But last year, Harnett County did away with all overdue fines. And this is actually a trend all over the United States, where librarians are finding that fines for overdue items punish people who need us the most. And so we've done away with them. Now, if a book is damaged or is lost, the patron is still responsible for it. But as long as they get the book back to us or the item back to us, we forgive all fines. We just want the materials back so that we can check them out to someone else. So this is our website. There's no way I could go over everything I really wanted to share with you this evening. So I encourage you to go to our website, click on Summer Reading Program for a whole list of detailed events about the Summer Reading Program. You can search our catalog. You can check out your ebooks through this Overdrive app here. That'll get you where you need to go. And just take a look. Just explore everything about the library. You might find something that you didn't know. So we have a location here in Lillington. I'm going to go through this really quickly. This past fall, we consolidated our libraries. So before we were an affiliated system, but now we're a fully consolidated system. So the Harnett County Library System is comprised of this library in Lillington, the Anger Public Library, the Coates Public Library, the Dunn Public Library, the Irwin Public Library, the Anderson Creek Public Library, the Boone Trail Community Center and Library, and this fall we're going to be opening up another library in Western Harnett County out at Benhaven. And this is not the building that it's going to be in, it's in the building behind it, but this is a rendering of what this library is going to be designed as. And we're very excited about that. Western Harnett does not have any library services. All right, so in conclusion, I hope that you learned something tonight. I want you to understand the library is not all about books. We are here to serve you. This is your library, and we're here to serve you and to make your lives better and more enriched. And if there's ever anything that you want to suggest or talk about, we are always open to hear your ideas.
And you have a gift for them, so.
Oh. We brought a door prize from the library. Everyone had their tickets out. 854533. Oh, Jesus.
Got it.
So you have a gift from Angela.
Is it cosmetics?
No, but we made cosmetics today.
And we have another prize.
I'll show you. It's not your play.
It's just black, but it's just plain on white.
Oh, wow.
You want to choose another?
Oh,
All right.
You've got some.
We're going to give away another prize.
Oh, good.
You know, I was the first ticket I was supposed to win.
854530.
Oh, jeez.
No
Draw
one
it in.
Wait a minute, what'd you say?
854530.
That is me.
I thought it was 430.
Wow.
Thank you. Oh, that's heavy.
Wow. I think they're done.
It was a lot of fun, so come this week and see what we have to offer. I did bring some kits for you just to look at, some of the library of things I was telling you about, if you wanna come and just kind of peruse and see what we have. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank each of you for attending tonight. I know we are over our time. I greatly apologize for that, but I hope that you all learned a little bit about the offerings that we have here in Harnett County. And as I stated, each quarter we will have different departments to give presentations. So thank you again. You all were able to you guys were able to ask questions already, but we are out of time. If you guys have a few questions, yay, nay.
Yeah, is this the thing you were talking about with the water bill? Roots, or is that's the water quality thing? That's not what you said.
No, it will be your bill that you get directly from Harnett Regional Water, and they'll let you know
This is
how
what
much you
came
owe.
with it.
So that's something different.
Okay, well, whoever did it, tell them they need to, like, make it a lot bigger.
Okay, for the font. All right, well, thank you guys.
Thank you.